So in this example, what we're trying to do is figure out, this is a transformation. So what I have f of x, which is 3x, right? And then I have another function, g of x, which is the same as f of x plus 3. Now, I know that this f of x is going to give me a vertical shift or a vertical translation of 3 units to whatever f of x is. In other words, if I graph f of x and I go up 3 units, that'll give me g of x. But let's just do some regular substitution. So what does this mean? Well, if I say g of x is equal to f of x plus 3, well, what's f of x? F of x is just 3x plus 3. So one of these gives me the same effect, right? One of these h of x's will do the same thing. It's written a little differently, but we got to figure out how or what it does. So if I were to graph, and I'm just going to sketch it real quick, f of x, and let me do this in green. Well, let me draw the f of x. If I sketch out my little xy plane, and we'll do this on the calculator in just a second. If I sketch out my xy plane, I know that f of x is equal to 3x. That means that my slope is equal to 3 over 1. That's my up and over. And that my y-intercept is not listed there, so that means that the y-intercept is 3. So that means I start at the origin and I go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Go up 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. So I've got kind of a steep slope that goes like this, right? But I know that g of x is going to have a y-intercept of 3, and its slope is going to be equal to 3, or 3 over 1. So this line will be parallel. This is the y-intercept here, and it's a vertical shift. So from any point on this line, if I go up 1, 2, 3, that's going to be a point on this line. If I go over here and I go up 1, 2, 3, that's going to be a point on this line. So it looks like this. So this is a vertical shift. In other words, we're shifting up 3 units. But you might say, well, can I shift to the left, right? So if I shift to the left, that's done, remember that the horizontal shifts are done inside the parentheses, and usually it's the opposite. So let's look at this real quick on a graphing calculator. So if I go into a graphing calculator, and I'll try to do this quickly because I want the video to be quick and I don't want to overwhelm anybody. But let's start with the parent function, which is 3x, right? And then we know that I can shift that up by saying 3x plus, and I'm going to put a here. This is my function. Now watch what happens. If I put that plus 1, if I put that at plus 3, all it's doing is it is shifting vertically this way. But if I think in terms of shifting horizontally, I'm only shifting to the right. So what I could do is I could say that's the same as f of x, right? But instead of f of x, if I say 3 times x, now this is interesting. I've got to say minus 1, minus 1. Well, I'm going to put b in there, b. Now I've got, by putting that plus or minus, I can shift vertically. So if I leave that at 0, or I mean horizontally, if I leave that at 0 and I go this way, it shifts it that way. But if I go this way, it shifts it this way. But when I minus a minus 1, this is the formula for a horizontal shift. If I do minus minus 1, that's plus 1.